All right, guys, you all know why you're here, and you saw this incredible lady yesterday, and you've seen her a bunch as well, Marie Diamond, and today this is going to be a very experiential adventure for all of you. So please strap in and get ready for something very, very special and very, very powerful. Miss Marie Diamond.
Hello, good morning. Well, good noon. I don't know. We're close to noon. Hello, how are you feeling? Oh, great. We have been partying last night, right? But now we're going to go on an adventure. So we're going to really focus on clearing the pain and the karma from your relationships. And I know some of you are like a bit uncomfortable, a bit uneasy, but you're courageous, you're here today. So I'm excited for you to be here. So the first 45 minutes, I'm going to lead you in meditations, talking about how to work on forgiveness, how to clear out anything in your body, in your aura field, in your chakras about relationships that perhaps are blocking you. And we're also going to write a forgiveness letter. And after 45 minutes, we're all going to go outside and we're going to burn the forgiveness letter together in a huge fire ritual. Yeah? Okay? It's very powerful. And so I'm excited for that. And we're going to then come back into the room and going to finalize and ground ourselves, because for some of you, it will be quite emotional what we're going to do. But it's all good. It's about transformation, yeah? Because the focus of this A-Fest was about relationships, yeah? And I want you to go home that you have cleared some of your relationships, yeah? I know some of you have been listening yesterday to my talk, and I just want to share, I want to thank you also for allowing me to share the story yesterday about my father, because it was actually the first time I shared the story on stage. Yeah? Yeah. And so some people are saying, oh, you did like, you know what to say. And I said, I was trembling on my feet. But thank you for the warmth and the courageous energy you gave to me. It was very powerful for me too. Yeah? So let's start right away. So I'm going to lead you first of all in a meditation, because I want to right away tackle what is the relationship that you need to start forgiving the most at this moment. Yeah? And perhaps you're like, oh, I have people lined up. But I'm telling you, it's the one person that right now, if you could clear that, if you could let go of that pain, that karmic experience you have with them, that when you let go, that such a shift can happen for you, but not only for you, but also for your children, for your grandchildren, for the lineage behind you. Yeah? Because what changes in you will be passed on right away, and that's the quantum physics field of clearing, is that whatever you release right now, it clears right away everybody else. So I want to tell you a story quickly to explain how that works. So I remember the first time I did this exercise of the forgiveness letter was a woman comes to me and she's like, you know, my business is doing okay, but I want to go to the next level, but nothing is happening. I want to attract a new partner. I'm already divorced for 15 years. I can't find a new man in my life. I don't know why. I'm like, okay. So I go into my energy session with her and I said, your mother, you haven't forgiven your mother. Tell me about your mother. And she's like, oh, my mother, I haven't spoken to her in 15 years. So apparently 15 years ago, she got divorced from the doctor of the town, like small town, one doctor. And at that time, at that was like in the 80s, getting divorced was already a difficult situation, not so common. But then getting divorced from the doctor of town was like not at all good. And so the mother, from that moment on, didn't speak to her anymore. But she didn't even explain why she didn't speak to her daughter. And I said, why did you divorce? She said, well, my husband came out to me and said, I am gay and I really would like to spend the rest of my life with the partner that I feel the most attracted to. And she said, we were totally okay with that, and we became really great parents, co-parenting, but we didn't tell publicly the reason. Because in a small town in Catholic Belgium at that time, that would have meant the end of his career. So she didn't even tell to her parents, to her family, what the real reason was. They just said, we don't get along anymore. It's because she protected him and protected his career and also her children. And I said, have you never told that to your mother? She said, no. She stopped speaking to me. Now, her mother was in an elder home, literally a mile away from her. And I said, have you ever tried to go and visit her? Yes, each time I go there, she turns around, she doesn't want to speak to me. She speaks to my siblings, but not to me. I said, I want you to do this forgiveness letter. And so she wrote this letter, and then she did a fire ritual that we're going to do together. And I said, when you write this letter, you write it to the soul of that person. You don't write it to the ego, because we are clashing with the ego of that person. Yeah? We're in fear, we're angry, we are upset with the ego of that person, not with the soul, because the soul is bright and beautiful. Yeah? But I said, why don't you write everything you want on that letter? Every conversation you always wanted to have with your mother. Every time you were angry, sad, write as much as you want. It is telling to her soul what you always wanted to share. So she did that, and then she burned the letter, and she called me and said, I'm burning the letter now. I said, great. And send it with universal post, of course. We're not sending, and we don't give it to the people. We don't go and say to our father or mother or siblings or ex-husband or ex-partner or your ex-teacher from high school that bullied you, whatever. You don't give it directly to their ego, because their ego is not open to receive that. Yeah? You will send it to their soul. And so she did that. And an hour and a half later, the universal post was very quick because it's only a mile away from her, right? So an hour and a half later, she get a phone call from the elder home, and apparently her mother, who's 85 at that time, started yelling her name. Chris! I want to see Chris. Chris has to come, because it was her name. And everyone was like, who is Chris? Because Chris didn't ever visit. She never talked about Chris. So they called the sibling and said, that's the sister she doesn't want to talk to. So Chris came to her mother and like, oh, she will embrace me, right? And suddenly Chris heard from her mother all the anger, yeah? And the mother was like, I am so upset with you, yet you divorced my favorite son-in-law, the doctor of the town. I felt so upset, so embarrassed that you divorced that man. And she said, but Mom, I couldn't tell the real reason. We divorced because he came out to me and I wanted to set him free to find real love as a gay man. I said, oh, why did you not tell me that? I said, Mom, that would not have been great at that time for him, his career, the children. And she's like, oh, you're right. So she's like, suddenly they have a normal conversation, right? And they embrace each other. And she said, well, why are you in the elder home? She said, well, no of your siblings want me at home. He said, I have a big home. Please come and stay with me. So the last 3 years of this woman's life, she stayed with her daughter. Yeah, her business took off, yeah, and they had an amazing time together, all because of one letter sent to her soul, yeah. So you never know what the miracles are that are happening, yeah. So when I told you the story that I cleared the energy with my father, in that week when I knew for sure he had his last week of life, I wrote my forgiveness letter to him. Because I couldn't tell him everything anymore because he was in coma. Yeah? His ego was already taken out. So I wrote a letter, and then I actually thought, like, I'm not going to send it with Universal Post because he's there right now. So I actually shared the story. I shared my letter, and then I burned it. And it was very interesting. When all this happened, I felt such a relief. Yeah? And then I was really able to tell him, the last night, that I could forgive him. And we sometimes don't remember all the pain that we had from relationships. They have been building up. So we're going to do the forgiveness letter, and it's possible you're like, I have still so much to do. Well, you can go home and do another letter to the same person if you want. Yeah? But we're going to write a letter today, and it will help you to clear the vibration. Now, beautiful part of sharing the story yesterday publicly. In the afternoon I had a nap, and I know naps are very important, right? We have heard about that. And I took this wonderful nap and had this beautiful dream, and my father came in my dream and he said, I'm so proud of you. Yeah. So you will get messages, yeah? It's possible that person will show up in a dream if they have passed on. Perhaps somebody will start telling a story about that person, or you will see something on television that you're like, oh, that relates with it. But you don't have to expect the messages, but it's what changes in you. And I was yesterday talking to one person here, and she was saying, I'm still so upset with my ex, and I feel like I really want to punish him. Yeah, and I want to feel holding on to that anger. But you have to remember, what you're holding on to is not affecting them. It's affecting you. Yeah? We all know the work of Dr. Emoto, with the water and the crystallizing of the water. And when you put wrong images on the water, how the crystals look like. If you hold on to the pain, to the traumas that you have in your life, you can perhaps be upset. They continue with their life and feels like they're all okay. But you're still suffering and in pain from what has happened in your life. But guess who is actually suffering and is affecting your health and your well-being? And even your abundance with this. Because that frequency that you're holding on to is affecting 2/3 of your body, because that contains the water. Yeah? So every cell of your body is affected by that. So when I was able to clear that for myself and have the compassion for my father, it not only cleared my health, because I was still that time very sick. Every month after the accident, I was a few days or a week out from inflammations and pain. And after that moment, it cleared also my body. Because I didn't hold on to that hate anymore, to that pain. But it also created something else. It created such an energy shift that literally my life purpose changed. Yeah? I was telling somebody today, she said, I want to change into something else professionally. Well, I said, that's what happened to me. If I would not have cleared that, I would have stayed a lawyer. I know that for a fact. I would have stayed a lawyer, probably a very successful one. And I probably would have affected some people in a good way, but not the millions of people. Because it shifted me to prepare, to open up, to more consciousness, and literally 2 years later, I had my enlightenment experience. I could not have gone to that conscious level of myself and being compassionate and no judgmental and full of love for everyone if I did not do that for my father. So what you're doing right now is not affecting only your health and your well-being, it affects your spiritual evolution. And because of that, I was able to start teaching at 31. And so it affects so much, not only you, your health and well-being, your spiritual evolution. Perhaps you feel stuck somewhere on that level. It will open the energy, and it also will affect the people coming behind you, your children, your grandchildren, because that is what we call karma. The traumatic experiences you had, you pass that on in your energetic DNA, in your energetic programming. And of course, we will also clear some of the karma. And karma is what we have received from our ancestors, yeah? Because they have their traumas that they have passed on to us unknowingly, unconsciously. And we also have, if you believe in reincarnation, we have received some of that energy even from our own energetic DNA from past lives that we have passed on to us and brought with us here. So right now, just that forgiveness letter will help you to go to a whole new level of your own existence. Yeah? And I want you all to thrive on all levels. Yeah? But we need to also take some actions for that. Yes? So are you ready for that? Are you ready for that? Okay. So we'll start first with a meditation. So may I invite you to put your feet next to each other, your hands on your lap. Make sure your shoulders are straight, your spine is straight. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. And as you breathe in, connect consciously with the universe. And allow the universal chi, the universal flow of energy coming into your body. And you can see it as like white crystal light coming in from the top of your head through your body, connecting with your feet. And all that is light in your body remains. All that is less than light, toxins, stress, blockages, you ask now to let that go to the place in the universe where it belongs. And take a deep breath in and let it go. And visualize now that light coming into your etheric body. And it's like part of your aura field that is just like 10 centimeters, 3 inches around your physical body. It's where your chakras are vibrating. And feel that light like a shower coming into that body. And it clears every chakra. And it aligns the chakras with the universe. Take a deep breath in and release. Now imagine this crystal white light is coming in your emotional body, who is like 30 centimeters, a foot beyond your etheric body. And that's where you're holding on to all your emotional frequencies. The heaviness of your emotions are stored there. And just visualize like the crystal white light comes in there like a shower, and you let it shower down to the earth, and Mother Earth takes it, transmutes it back into good vibrations. And let it go. Take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. And now we visualize the mental body, who's another 30 centimeters, a foot beyond the emotional body. And you visualize that crystal white light coming there. These are all the old mindsets, the old principles, the illusions you've been holding on to, the ideas you have about your relationships. So visualize the light coming there, showering down, and we release all the old mindset, beliefs you have about relationships. And take a deep breath in, inhale, and exhale, and let go. Now visualize, as you have created this sparkling white tube of light that is all around you, visualize now the color royal blue all around your body, around your feet. And the royal blue stands for the protection of that light. Now you have cleared the space. You're holding a powerful protection shield. That all that is positive can still come into your field, and all that is less than positive just remains outside that royal blue frequency. You can notice it, you can observe it, but it doesn't come in you anymore. And feel and accept that power that you have to create a new future. And then visualize around that the rose light that stands for the unconditional love and support of the universe, calling in now all the love and gratitude you have for all the wonderful relationships that you have, for your Mindvalley tribe, for your teachers, your coaches, your siblings, your children, parents, and all the spiritual beings, the masters, the ancestors, the guides, the angels, God, the universe. Just accept that love that is there for you, always accessible. And accept that love now. Accept that love. And now we're visualizing, coming from deep within the earth, violet light that stands for the frequency of forgiveness, of letting go. It is the fastest moving, vibrant color in our planetary energy. And visualize that violet light coming in as a violet, gentle fire, going through your body and aura field, cleaning anything subconsciously, consciously, that you still need to let go of, even if you're not aware of it. Just give yourself permission. Even if you're not ready to forgive, be ready to start forgiving, to be willing to forgive yourself, others. And see that violet light going till above your head into the universe, letting it go. And take a deep, deep breath in, inhale, and exhale. One more time. A deep inhale and a deep exhale. And now visualize that you have like a magical hat on, like a wizard's hat, a fairy hat. And it's an arm length high above your head. And that point is where your quantum axis is, the axis to your soul. And as you're focusing on that point, connecting with that light of your soul, and visualize now that as you walk into that light, you come in the most beautiful, magical garden. A place where there's total peace and harmony. And just feel that you are there in your soul frequency. And just explore your magical garden. The beauty, the joy, the serenity. Until you feel like really connected with that. We're going to open ourselves now to look to the horizon of that magical garden. And from over the horizon, you are asking now the soul of the person that you need to forgive now. Not the most, but now. And we're asking that soul to come over the horizon to you. And they come in their soul body. And they can be alive, they can be passed on. We're just connecting with their soul body and see how beautiful their souls are. And as that soul comes closer, that soul has in his soul hands the energy, the lessons, the pain it co-created with you. All the trauma you experienced, that soul is holding that in his or her hands. And you have been accepting that till now. And that soul is still passing it on to you. And now look at this soul and say, thank you. I do not longer need this anymore. And say that in the language in yourself, that is the language you speak to that soul. Thank you. I do not longer need this anymore. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for having accepted this pain and trauma all these years. And I forgive you for having passed on this pain and trauma and karma to me till now. But now, I am free. I set myself free. I set you free. And the soul takes this pain back. And if you feel like hugging that soul or holding the hands, looking in the eyes, just do that. It's like you're renewing now the soul contract you have with that person. And that soul is now leaving back over the horizon to the place where it belongs, or connected with the body of a person that is still alive, or a person that has passed on and is in other dimensions. And take a deep breath in, and take a deep breath out. And go back to that magical garden. And feel the healing that is there for you. And reconnect with your body. Feel that healing connecting in with your heart. Sink that into your heart. Take a deep breath in. Bring your hands together. Move your hands. Bring your warm hands in front of your eyes. And gently open your eyes. And now I would love for you to take a paper and pen. If you don't have that, raise your hand. We have some papers available. Or ask a neighbor to give you a paper so some of the team members can come. So now, you're going to start writing this forgiveness letter. So perhaps you're not ready to say, my dearest. So you can just write to and say the name, right? And you can say, like, I want to share with you, or just you can, any text you want to start. I am ready to forgive, or I'm willing to forgive. Because sometimes you're not completely ready to forgive because it was very difficult experience. But open the door. Open the door to forgive and say, I am willing. I'm not ready yet, but I'm willing. I am starting to forgive. And I want to forgive this to you. And you can write down in bullet points if you want. It doesn't have to be the most beautiful book you write. Yes? So just whatever you want to share with that person. The things you were never able to tell that person straight in their face. Yeah. So please, I would like some background music if we can, if that's available. Yeah, just some soft music. If not, you stay in silence. And at the end of the letter, and at least write down 5 points. Yeah, 5 things. Yeah, because you can do the rest at home. Okay. And at the end, you can say again, thank you. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for the lessons I had to learn. Thank you, anything you want to share. Perhaps you want to share also, I love you. It's up to you what you feel ready for. I forgive myself. I forgive you. And then sign it with your name. And, as a lawyer, I always say, nothing is a contract if you don't sign it and don't put a date on it. Okay? So sign it, you can put your name, but do a signature, like it's a contract, a new contract you're creating with the universe and with that person. And so just write it down. And again, whatever you want to share, there's no judgment about it. Be compassionate about yourself. Whatever you want to share, if you want to write down, I hate you, then write that down. Yeah? This is the last time you're going to write this, that you're going to share this. And you're sharing that with their soul. Their ego is not aware of this at this moment. Take a chance to write it. And meanwhile, as you're doing that, I'm going to do some energy work for all of you. You can do it. So now it's like in school, pen down. So when you go home and you want to continue doing this, make sure that when you write this letter, and you can write as many letters as you want, yeah, always burn the letter outside when it's a beautiful sunny day, around noon, because at noon we have the most chi, and the universal pulse goes the fastest out, yeah. So we're at the right time, to do that around 1 o'clock here. So, first of all, take a deep breath in. How did that feel? For some of you, a little bit more difficult than others. Yeah, that's okay. Now, I want you to take, and I know we have some more paper, I want you to take one more paper, and I want you to write another, just very one sentence. We are right now in a time in the world where we are experiencing a lot of pain. And I would love for you to write in one paper, I forgive anyone that you want to forgive that has connected with war or a country, because we're not going to only do individual clearing, we're going to do collective clearing. Yeah? So one of the things I have learned in my life, that we also need to learn to forgive our leaders. Yeah, I work with many leaders over the time, many political leaders, and we also need to forgive them. And I remember many years ago when I was doing work with a group of people in Belgium, they were very upset with the current leaders of the country. And so we did a collective forgiveness energy. And everybody said this prime minister is going to be again elected for sure, right? And as we were doing this clearing, I had this vision. And the vision was that the rooster has no power without chicken. That's very strange, right? Now, the name of our leader in Belgium at that time was called de Hane. It means the rooster. And as we were clearing the energy, I saw very clearly the vision, the rooster has no power without chicken. I'm like, what is that about, right? So we cleared the energy, we all forgave the leader for bringing our country down, yeah? Because from some steps he took. And 48 hours later, it came out that there was a toxic scandal in the food of the chicken. And 1 million chicken had to be slaughtered in Belgium. He actually tried to refuse to share it with the public. And the public became so upset that they all turned against him. And so 1 million chicken, thank God for their soul, right, kind of had to let go. And suddenly everybody was afraid of eating meat. And for 1 month, because we couldn't eat meat or eggs for 1 month, but they also didn't eat other meat. So 1 month, the whole population in Belgium went vegetarian. Can you imagine the shift that happened? Yeah? And suddenly, for the first time, the Green Party came to power. And this man lost the election because he was based on fear. And suddenly we were focusing on abundance. And within 2 years, our country went again into abundance. So that one time, 100 people collectively forgave the leader. Can you imagine if we all would forgive the leaders that are right now creating war, creating issues in your country? And we burn that. Not just for you, but for you as a representation of your country, for you as a representation of the world. Because you have to understand, when you are by yourself, you have the power of the universe. But if you are with more, you have the power multiplied by 10 million at this moment. This is how exponential the reach is right now. So I would love for you to take a paper, and whoever you want to put in that name, you can say, I am not ready to forgive that leader or this person that is in the world doing certain decisions, but perhaps you can start forgiving them. Because that's the only way we're going to start making a shift, and the only way you can contribute sometimes, because you're not in that war zone. So I know this is hard for some of you, but it can be the leader from your country, can be the leader of some other countries in the world that have started war or have not started war. I don't know. That's not a good one. But just write it down, yeah? Can you forgive? You can forgive a movement, yes, whatever that is. So please take a paper, another paper. Some people need more papers. Raise your hand. Yeah? And write that down. Because that paper we're going also to put in the fire ritual. Yeah? To clear that out. Whoever that might be. And we don't say, we don't put the F word in there, right? Or the S word. We just say, I am ready, or I'm willing, or I'm forgiving that person, that movement, that country, whatever you want to do. If you want to make a difference, a quantum physics change, then this is an opportunity. Okay? That being said, are you ready for the fire ritual? Yes. Are you ready to let it go? Yes. Okay. Now, before we do that, I want you to look at a neighbor somebody you don't know, right? So not couples. You go and turn to somebody and just take their hands and look in their eyes and say, I'm proud of you. You can do it. Stand up if you want. You have to come a little bit closer. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of
You can do it.
you. We can.
You ready?
I'm ready. Are you?
I am. And you can embrace each other. Okay. Say out loud, I am ready.
I am ready.
Take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, and take the final. So somebody who'd like to share, perhaps already also here, while the others are coming in with me. Anyone? Raise your hand. There are a few people over there. Keep your hand. Yep, perfect. Please stand up so we can see you. Yes.
Hi, I'm Nikki. Hello, everyone. I think I needed to forgive myself. There's been I didn't intend to cry, sorry.
That's okay.
I think I just needed to forgive myself for lots of limiting beliefs that I've had, which have brought me here to do this. And in my journey, I've also met Yvonne, who then invited me to come here. It's been a great journey. I think there's a lot more forgiveness to do, but it's a start, and it's a release. My limiting beliefs of I'm not good enough, and everything that I've carried with me from childhood to now.
Okay.
And I think it's time I start focusing on the real me. So
thank you very much. Yeah. Somebody else would like to share? Raise your hand. There's a young man there.
Hi, thanks, Mari. I never realized that I loved my grudges so much that when I burnt it, I felt like it's a funeral of somebody I dearly loved. And I still can't believe that it was like that until an hour ago when I started writing this letter. It's a massive realization, and I feel very light. I don't know why I was carrying so much of weight.
Yeah.
I don't know, there might be still some left over. So maybe more writing to be done.
Yeah.
But I have attended many events, emotionally intense events. I've never cried. Today was the first time that my eyes were wet. So thanks a lot, Mari. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Yeah. You know, in the ancient schools, fire ritual was crucial to release karma. And so we don't always have the possibility to do the letter, but when you do the tubes of light meditation, that is of course on the Feng Shui for life questions, also on the app that you can click on it every day. By using the violet fire, you're actually releasing even the things you're not aware of, And I always say it's one of my secrets to look young, because I clear everything, every day, So somebody else I would like to share? Yes, there's a blonde lady. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't know you were.
Yeah, hi everyone. So my name's Ollie, and I chose to forgive my dad because we've always been very close when I was a kid, even though I've not always done necessarily all the good things and been a particularly good person. When I had my car accident a few years ago, lost my leg in it. It was very difficult for him, and the relationship that we had completely went to shit, excuse my French. So having been so close with him, and it sort of really, it made our family with my siblings quite difficult, and there was a lot of relationships that didn't continue and whatever. So yeah, I've chosen to forgive him for all that. So
amazing. Thank you.
He's got a good heart.
Yes. And you know, even if you forgive, it doesn't mean that you will suddenly have the best relationships again with this person. Yeah? But it's just that weight is not longer on you. Yeah? And because we sometimes really forget how much that suffering has been pulling us down. Yeah? But I'm telling you, there will be a shift. There will be a shift in you. And that all that is what matters really, is it's a shift in you. That you don't hold on to that pain, that sadness, that anger anymore. And then you can build up again, you know, the possibilities. And if it's not restoring the relationship, at least you're not carrying that with you anymore for the rest of your life and passing it on to your children and grandchildren. Yeah? So that is what it's really about. Yeah? To really make sure that energetically you are free. How many of you feel lighter right now? Yeah. Look at each other. Yeah? Okay? So I would like you to continue this information. Continue that experience. Yeah? And so you can even start writing from today on, right? And if you go home and even bring all the letters together in one moment of fire ritual. You don't have to do a ritual every time, right? You can just collect them all. A wonderful thing to do is also to do it with your children. Yeah? And to write letters to each other. Yeah? Because, you know, as a family, it's very, very powerful. As a team. Yeah? I do this with teams, and it's so powerful to do this. Because we all have something, and if perhaps the manager, perhaps that colleague that is upsetting you all the time. And you don't have to say it to each other. You just send it with virtual posts, universal posts, angel posts, whatever you call it, to the soul of that other person. And I guarantee you the relationship is going to be different because you are different. Because you let it go. You don't hold on anymore. Yeah? So how many of you will pass this on? Because this is really about setting this up and passing it on. Yeah? Can you imagine this wave of forgiveness going through the world? This is how the world really becomes a better place. Yeah? We can, of course, focus on the pain and the situations that are going on into the world. And, of course, it's good to be aware of it. But you're opening up a portal of energy for yourself. And when we do that, even what we just did also for leaders or countries, whatever you want to place in it, and if you're upset about something that's going into the world, and you're like, I don't know what to do with it, just write it down and burn it up. But always during daytime, not in your fireplace, because then you keep the energy in your house. Yeah, always outside. Because then at least you're continuing a wave of forgiveness. Because right now, we're coming into a new period. In Feng Shui, we have every 20 years a new cycle. And we're actually ending a cycle in 2024. It's a cycle of the 8. And the 8 is all about empowerment, wisdom, awakening, consciousness. And if you think about 2004 till 2022 already, how many people have lifted themselves up, have awakened? Many of you, I'm sure, were not awakened in 2004. You would never come to a Mindvalley A-Fest in 2004, right? But it just happened because there's an acceleration of it. Now in 2024, 2048, it's just a few years from now, it is the period of enlightenment. The period of really connecting in with the universe, aligning. But also the only way to do that is through fire. And fire means release, letting go. Letting go of all the things that were old, all the ancient programs, systems, politically, socially, everything that we built up. Yeah, we need to transmute, transform, because there's a lot of work to do to save our planet. But I'm so confident that this will happen. But forgiveness helps you to save the planet. It helps to save you. It helps you to save your family, to transmute, to transform through that power of fire. So I hope you can pass this on. It's a very simple technique. Yeah. And I want to thank you for being there with us and helping also create a transmutation of energy for the world. I thank you. I love you. Bye.